What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hawk coming at you with another video. Earlier this week, ESPN released their win projections for all the teams in the league. I'm not going to cover their whole list today. I may do that when it gets a little closer to the season and do a list of my own. But today I am going to talk about a couple of teams that I just think they completely got wrong. The first team that I want to talk about, they have the Utah Jazz ranked second in the West. Now, I've heard the argument from other people. Rudy Gobert wasn't healthy the full season last season. Donovan Mitchell kind of was in two different roles last season. They didn't know how they wanted to play him. He didn't start the full season. Now they know he's their go-to scorer, so they'll be better right from the get-go at the beginning of the season. To me, the Utah Jazz aren't second in the West. They're not better than the Houston Rockets, and they're not better than the next team I'm going to talk about on my list. To me, the Utah Jazz will probably end up anywhere between 4 and 6 in the West. They'll be in that mix right in there. Probably end up 4th, because I'll agree. Donovan Mitchell is going to ball out next year, and he's going to have kind of the reins to the offense. And Rudy Gobert, hopefully, will be healthy all year and solidify that defense. The next team I want to talk about are the Portland Trail Blazers. They have them listed 8th in the West, barely making the playoffs. How, fam? Now listen, I know they got ran out of the playoffs this year against the Pelicans. Absolutely embarrassed. But during the regular season, they were balling. Dame and CJ ball out in the regular season. They're basically the Raptors of the West. They might fall apart in the playoffs, but in the regular season, they're the 3rd best team in the West to me. At least potential to be the 3rd best team. Maybe 4th best team in the West. One of the biggest mistakes that I think they have on this list is they don't have the Lakers making the playoffs at all. They have them at the 9th spot. Now granted, like I said, I don't have the exact record that they're projecting. All I have is the position that they're placed, which is 9th. Now, I'm not a huge LeBron fan. I respect him as one of the top players that ever played a game, but I'm not a fan. And I say that because I simply can't imagine an NBA season where he's playing and not make the playoffs. Like, we're talking about someone who just took that Cleveland Cavaliers team to the finals. Granted, they got slapped once they got there, but he took them there. He's been at 8 in a row. How do they have him 9th in the West? I get it, it's the West. Teams are better, it's harder out there. But they really don't think LeBron's going to make the playoffs? Especially considering that they have the Denver Nuggets, who didn't even make the playoffs last year, ranked 4th. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, who made the playoffs on the last day of the season, locked in at the 5th spot. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy for LeBron to make the playoffs in the Western Conference. And honestly, I'm not saying I see his team ranking higher than the 5th spot in the Western Conference. But I definitely see them making it, and I really think they messed up with this list. Coming out to the Eastern Conference, to be honest with you, I didn't see as much wrong with the Eastern Conference list than I did with the Western Conference standings. One thing that I did think was a little off with their predictions was they had the Washington Wizards at 7th. I think a healthy John Wall throughout that full season, playing well with Bradley Beal, they got better at their worst position, which was center, got rid of Gortat, picked up Dwight Howard. I think Dwight's going to be a very solid addition to that team. If you watched my predictions for last season's video, I thought Dwight Howard was going to be a bigger impact on the Charlotte Hornets. I think he had a really good season. I think he wants to have a good season again this year. He said he's excited to be healthy. You know, Dwight's kind of pretty much been slightly injured every year since his Orlando days, pretty much. And yes, I'm a biased Dwight Howard fan, I'll admit that. But I think he'll be a good addition. He's not Defensive Player of the Year type material by any means, but he's still a very solid defender. Above average big man defender in this league, and someone who can still finish at the rim on a fairly consistent basis in the pick and roll with John Wall and Bradley Beal. That being said, I can realistically see the Washington Wizards probably landing 4th or 5th in the East. Definitely not 7th. I don't think they'll be that top 3. I definitely see the top 3 teams probably being Toronto, Boston, and then Philly, most likely in that order. And then maybe the Wizards can come right in either that 4 or 5 spot. The only other ranking that caught my eye for the Eastern Conference was the Cleveland Cavaliers. ESPN has them ranked 12th in the East. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know where I'll rank them. When I go to do my list, Cleveland will probably be the hardest team to rank because I don't really know where they'll be without LeBron. I don't really see them making the playoffs, but I don't know if I see them dropping all the way down to 12th either. I'm going to have to take a hard look at that roster, really see what's left over and how much do I really think Kevin Love can have an impact without LeBron. So thanks for watching. This has been my thoughts on the ESPN win projections for the 2019 season. I'm going to make my own standings predictions, probably a little bit closer to when the season starts, like I said. And I'll go into in-depth kind of about each team and why I think they're going to land where I place them. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.